Oh my gosh, is Bitcoin going to $100,000? No way. It looks like it. It's gonna. Hey you guys, what's up? Welcome to Young Money Investments. In today's video, we are going to be talking about none other than Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about the highs, the lows. We're going to get my take on it. Although this is mainly a financial investments channel and a shorting channel, we're going to talk a little bit about Bitcoin because Bitcoin has been all the rage right now. We have seen a huge change in the thoughts on cryptocurrency. Facebook has recently come out with some news. We're going to discuss that in today's video. We're going to discuss my current position because yes, I know I have a long position in Bitcoin, as well as a couple other cryptocurrencies. I'm going to talk about those. I'm going to talk about my outlook on it. We're going to talk about my take and what my plans are as we kind of see this shuffle go on, all today on Young Money Investments. Let's get it, you guys. All right, you guys. So if we take a look here at Google News, just pulling this up here, you are going to see the good and the bad if you just type in Bitcoin. I didn't even put them together, right? I probably should have combined those together. My bad. But if you do take a look here at Bitcoin, you're going to see that there are some good articles and some bad articles. You're going to see the roundabout way that Facebook's Libra cryptocurrency can help the Bitcoin price, basically. You can see here's the key level that Bitcoin needs to hold to head higher. You're going to see some articles in here that talks about how Bitcoin almost wipes out its mega gain just as swiftly as it came. It's going down, it's gonna die. Hold up. Bitcoin price analysis. Bitcoin could drop to 9,000 soon. Really, let's just start from the basics. Let's start up here and talk about how Bitcoin has been getting a little bit more of a push. So if you do look at this article here from Forbes, and it talks slightly about, how cryptocurrency and helping Bitcoin become popular. This is a very interesting article, and I have not read through the whole article here, but it makes people start thinking about cryptocurrency. And I think that is one of the most important things in going through this is when a company like Facebook introduces Bitcoin or any sort of cryptocurrency, especially Libra is their coin that they're supposed to be releasing here. I believe it's the end of 2020 or in 2021. I don't remember the exact date, and that's my bad. But cryptocurrency is getting more news. It's getting more attention. It's getting looked at by these other places now, by people in the mainstream media. One of the things that I've noticed, crazy lately, is that in my Instagram feed, I'm seeing people post about Bitcoin. I'm seeing people post their profits. They're talking about the charts. People that, again, over the past year were not talking about any sort of investments. They weren't talking about stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, none of that. And now all of a sudden they're talking about cryptocurrency. It's very interesting. That is really at the heart of why Bitcoin is really running. We're going to take a look at the charts, and we're going to talk about kind of my fundamental analysis on what that means as a technical trader, where I think this price action is going to go. But really sticking to the fundamentals of this, the more it gets popular in the news, the more people are looking at it, the more people are interested in it, the more that price is going to continue to go up. And that's kind of what we've seen. Second thing that is really affecting cryptocurrency prices right now is the fact that everyone is really trying to pump this economy up. It's no surprise, Donald Trump, I love to call him Donald Pump, is trying to pump this market up. He's trying to get it up. And one of the big things that helps is anytime that people are investing and putting more money into investments, it gets more people interested and more people are pumping money in that they would otherwise leave in their bank accounts. They would leave in savings funds. And so that is another really big factor that I don't think many people have really focused on. And for me, it has really made a lot of sense as to why we've seen Bitcoin start to go up. The social effect, the fact that the government wants to see this economy continue to push up. Donald Trump does not want to see this fall, as he's been over in Europe. He's been, trying to jockey with Kim Jong-un and trying to work out some of the nuclear, discrepancies and policies that North Korea has and kind of our ideas with it. Those things are all playing into the fact that the government even wants to see these things continue up. That's my take on it. Next thing that we need to take a look at here is the chart. So if you zoom out here on the 180-day chart, you are gonna see how crazy. We're talking about an over 200, over 300% run from the lows here on Bitcoin all the way up to its current highs. That to me is insane, and that is where you do really have to start to go, crud, are we in a bubble? But if you do scroll over here a little bit, you can see where this uptrend, it just was getting unreasonable. Using the technical analyst, analytic skills that I have, you have to look at the RSI. You have to look at this and go, okay, geez, look at this thing. I mean, we're talking about it peaked out here at a 92.7 RSI. We're seeing RSIs down here in the 80s. We're seeing RSIs over here, where we're talking about, again, this is an 89 RSI. Over here, we're talking about that massive pump, and that was a 90 RSI. It's no surprise that if we zoom in here a little bit more, to see that there finally had to be some consolidation. To actually understand why this consolidation was happening, you really needed to actually pull this up and look at this on kind of like a 3-year chart. It's still not going to show you everything, but you can kind of see where really over here, this is where we had this level of support for so long. This was back in the boom, right, during like December of 2017. And if you draw that line, and make it straight, you're gonna see that's really where Bitcoin ended up topping out at. And so right there is where we're seeing that resistance come up at 14,000. Now, since then, we have seen it kind of consolidate and pull back down here to roughly about 10,000 or so. Not exactly all the way down to 10,000, but 10,000 has been another level roughly of some support and resistance kind of coming through, right? We have seen some up here, but that is playing a big role in this. I would not be surprised, and again, this is simply my take on it. It doesn't mean you have to agree with it, doesn't mean you have to disagree with it, but I firmly believe, if you do take a look here on the 180-day chart, that we potentially, very potentially, could see this pullback to about a $9,000 price point. It would make sense from several different standpoints. It would make sense from the standpoint that Bitcoin would be resting on the SMA. It makes sense that there was a level of resistance here for roughly about a few weeks time frame in its run up, and it continued after its pop to kind of rest and use support right down there at the $9,000 level of support. And then the third reason is just that's my take. I mean, 10,000 is a very it's a big psychological number, right? But this drop from 10,000 to 9,000, that 10% drop right there would be a big psychological hit for a lot of retail traders. Now, why does that matter? You're gonna go, Cameron, why on earth would that matter if it's a psychological hit to the retail traders? The reason is because Bitcoin right now is being controlled by a lot of the big whales, the big multimillionaires that have multi-million-dollar positions in Bitcoin. If they can shake out the last few pennies out of the little retail investors that are thinking that the ship is sinking, that it's not coming back, then they have done their job in this push, and then they can drive the price up to get another round of investors. I hate to break it to you guys, but if you are investing short-term in Bitcoin and you have not done your due diligence, you're not going to make money in Bitcoin. It's just not going to happen. The reason is because they understand that you have to pay your bills with that money. You need that money for food, you need that money for school, you need that money for rent. If you need that money, you can't afford to leave it in there as a long-term investment. That is exactly what they did on the 180-day chart. I mean, look at it. It's very simple. We zoom out here on the 180-day chart. Let's zoom out here on the past year chart. And you can see they ran this sucker down and left it down here for, what, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months? I mean, roughly? I mean, it might even be more. I don't know what the time frame is exactly on this chart. But they were running it sideways. They were doing nothing, and then they sold out some more, dropped this sucker really low when people were thinking, oh, Bitcoin is done, it's not going anywhere. And then what happened? This sucker just ran. And that to me is more than anything proof that we are going to see whales continue to manipulate this price point, manipulate the stock in order to take money from retail traders. I'm just trying to help you understand so that you don't lose money in Bitcoin. If you have any other questions about this, please leave them in the comment section. If you made it this far, give me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe, hit that bell notification. It'll let you know every time that I'm dropping new videos. Normally we don't do crypto videos, But if you want to learn more about shorting, if you want to learn more about swing trading, I recently did a video on overstock and how overstock is actually correlated to Bitcoin. So check that video out. It should like be somewhere on here, right? And I'm grateful that you guys are tuning in. I will catch you guys in the next video. Talk to you later. Bye.